stillness and blessings, love and light, health and wholeness. Join me in this cosmic conscious meditation briefly. Thank you. Namaste. Gotta make sure I ain't stillness and blessings, everybody. I'm trying to make sure I ain't ashy like Mr. Brown. Love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness and blessings. Love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness and blessings. Love and light, health and wholeness. To one and all on this beautiful Wednesday night. It's been a long day. I ain't really have time to prepare no forewords for the day, but I do hope that this hour find us in the highest vibration possible and living in the highest frequency possible. Let me see if I got something on this pad for us, man. I gotta give y'all something, even if I have to repeat something I already wrote. Challenge your own beliefs. Challenge your own beliefs. And I think that's a good thing. We need to challenge our own beliefs because we'll be surprised. We'll be surprised the next levels or the things we'll learn about ourselves and the next level that we're able to tap. You know, whether it's athletically, whether it's breaking a barrier, running an extra mile, you know, going on a diet, anything. It could be anything. Challenge your own beliefs. And once again, be mindful of your emotional output. Don't overdraft your energy. And since it's already late, I ain't gonna spend too much time trying to figure out a foreword. Other than that, inspire, compliment, encourage. We're gonna go ahead into the ADK Luke Law of Life on page 141. We're on page 157. We're gonna finish off from Scientific Miscellany. The expression, there is no time or space, is often used by some when they first come into greater understanding or understanding of universal and cosmic activities. I'm going to rewind that again so it'll flow. The expression, there is no time or space, is often used by some when they first come into greater understanding or understanding of universal and cosmic activities. In a sense, that may be right. Yet, in cosmic activity, there is space and time, but not as we know it. We'll back that up. The expression, there is no time or space, is often used by some when they first come into greater understanding or understanding of universal and cosmic activities. In a sense, that may be right. Yet in cosmic activity, there is space and time, but not as we know it. As to space, the central sun and the suns of each system with their respective planets occupy or are in a certain location. They do not interpenetrate each other or occupy the same place, as a sense of spacelessness would indicate. They do not interpenetrate each other or occupy the same place as a sense of spacelessness would indicate. As for time, to travel in consciousness, that is almost instantaneous. To travel in consciousness is instantaneous. You can go anywhere you want to go in your mind, and your body still be where it is. To travel in consciousness is instantaneous. As for an ascended master traveling in their body, which is all light, it would be a matter of just a few minutes to go to the opposite side of the earth. As to space, ships traveling in interplanetary space, it takes a certain length of time, although only a small fraction of time in comparison with earthly ways of travel. Science says that a universe and galaxy travel through space at a terrific rate of speed. These calculations are according to three-dimensional observation, but they evidently operate in higher dimensions, the fourth, the fifth, sixth dimension, or even higher. From that state of consciousness, there is no sense of speed. Also, time is recognized in cycles of events and progress, and in creation of planets, it is a progress and not instantaneous. Because of an invisible ring pass not, a certain distance out from the earth, no discord is permitted to enter outer space to contaminate it or any other planet. This is really a sphere or pressure of light from without or from the outer regions, that way maintaining harmony in the rest of the universe. The discord on Earth has slowed down the vibratory action of the atmosphere in which scientific measurements are made. It is because of this difference between the atmosphere of Earth and outer space, which does not contain discord, that discrepancies of scientific calculations come in. Around each golden city in the ethers is a belt, a force that nothing of lower vibrations can penetrate. Around each planet is a similar belt, a sphere called ring pass not. Every planet that exists is inhabited. That is its purpose. Meteors are a substance consciously focused, powerfully charged by the ascended masters and projected to certain parts of the earth to bless nature, usually to dissipate destructive vortices or vortices. Sometimes a meteor, so-called, is one of the masters passing through the atmosphere of Earth. Sometimes a meteor, so-called, is one of the masters passing through the Earth. The foliage in the center of the Earth is ivory and pink. The atmosphere is soft white light night and day, and of even temperature. People live therein. They were drawn into the interior when they were confronted by hostile hordes and refused to fight them. That is, the earth opened up for them to enter. There is no discord there. All is harmonious. Talking about in the earth. It has been known for over 80,000 years that America was the last spot on this earth where the cup of light could be sustained. It has been known for over 80,000 years that America was the last spot on this earth where the cup of light could be sustained. 80,000 years, y'all. And it's older than that. The instruction of the ascended masters are giving forth is not only for your individual freedom, but for the change of the axis of the earth. To acquire a dispensation, or to acquire a release for the earth, it must harmonize with every element of this system. When nature is harmonized enough, even the deserts will put forth flowers several times in a season, and the fruits and growth will be much larger. It was said that the lotus was the first flower brought forth on earth, and was the divine pattern of the I Am presence. Honey, wheat, corn, beans, and redwood trees came from Venus, so the master said. Outside of the efficiency, there is nothing in comparison with the harmony maintained in the feelings in the heart of a business. Outside of efficiency, there is nothing in comparison with the harmony maintained in the feelings in the heart of a business. Science, etc., has but touched the lowest ebb of civilization, and the perfection naturally is not there. Originally, in the first golden ages, there were no divisions of races or nations. Everyone's right is human right. There was no division of nations. Everyone's right is human right. That state has to again manifest on earth. Divided conditions came about after the laggards had came to earth. All racial characteristics will eventually fade out, and all will blend into the light in features and color. Color is only in the physical body. The higher self of all is blazing light. All important books and records were taken from the Alexandrian library by the masters before the fire. These were put in places of safety. Some books are in the library of the temple at Luxor, Egypt. Washington's vision was given him by a great cosmic being who was giving great assistance to our freedom. That vision was a real prophecy and foretold the future of America. You can tell how old this book is. They're talking about George Washington. Mankind thinks it is the combined essence of life in the masculine and feminine that creates form. Yet it is the stream of life that does it. The life force energy, the chi, prana. Why was day and night established? It was not always so. To compel the human to become quiet, still. Otherwise, we would only live a very short time, perhaps not more than 12 years. 12-year cycle, 4 times 3, 4 seasons, about 30 degrees. Vertical, current, and horizontal. Where they meet, they form a cross, and creation takes place. A cross symbolizes creation. The universal substance of light flows horizontally around the planet. The divine current coming down, being vertical, meets the current, forming a cross, which forms the heartbeat. The two currents form the spiral. All action of energy is pulsation. You have only two movements, the push and the pull. Yin, yang. The two together make the spiral, which is an ascending action. You can prove this law. You do not have to just take someone's word for it. You do not have to take my word for it. The ascended master, Saint Germain, has had a hand in promoting fruit and vegetable juices as well as certain materials, for instance silk and now nylon and similar materials, especially for underwear. These materials have a tendency to give some protection against psychic forces. More than 20 years ago, the dictators of Europe were visited by the Master Saint Germain. All their guards hold up. More than 20 years ago, the dictators of Europe were visited by the Master Saint Germain. All their guards and locked doors were no obstruction to him. He visited them from time to time in an endeavor to get them to cooperate. But when they were determined to go their own way regardless, their own destruction soon returned upon them. Karmic law. May 24th, 1938, the opening day of class in New York City, the masters established a rainbow of rays from New York to Los Angeles, California. In late afternoon, around the close of the first session, it was seen and also reported in newspapers that buildings of Manhattan were colored in purple, lavender, pink, and their various hues. The Times building was a deep purple at the base with the color lightening to a shell pink at the top. I seen the same thing happen in Tampa. I want to say in the late 90s. Those from Florida know what I'm talking about. It happened the same thing. I think it was the Virgin Mary appeared on a skyscraper building in Tampa, Florida in the late 90s. The Times building was deep purple at the base with the color lightening to a shell pink at the top. That was an outer manifestation of the inner action of establishing the rainbow of cosmic rays for purification and protection of our country. Those rays completed the circle going through the earth from Los Angeles to New York. A triangle with the point downward represents the downpouring from the presence, with the point upward represents the upreaching of the human. Together, they form the six-pointed star. The Grand Teton, Mount Shasta, and Mount Whitney form a triangle. 3 high mountains in America. They are connected with each other by underground passages. By December 3rd, 1930, all discarnates and the psychic substance permitted by law, 1/3, had been removed from the United States and some other parts of North America, and all that territory was insulated by a wall of light. Discarnates are people who have passed on and in the spirit realm, but have not left the earth realm. Thousands of men in the armed forces who were forced out of their bodies during the war, 1942 through 45, in various parts of the world, especially in the Orient, when released from the body, straightway came to America in their inner bodies, because their desires in the physical had been such. Of course, they came up against the wall of light, and when they did so, they were taken and escorted to the higher realms. That was permitted by the law, because the student's body was making the call, and because of their own free will, they had come over. Whereas if they had stayed in the atmosphere over in the Orient, they could have not been removed. All of the discarnate entities have since been removed from the earth. All have been taken from the sleeper's realm. Some had been there for a very long time. That is, they were taken out of inertia and have been induced into action again. All have been removed from the compound, so-called, and taken to temples, schoolrooms at inner levels. They are all studying, making application, and rendering some service each day. During the year 1950, the light of the earth expanded 3 times over what it was before. That great intensification was enabled to take place because that causes and cause of certain destruction qualities had been removed, as well as this disembodied through decrees and cooperation of some unascended beings with the ascended ones. And I believe this is taking place right now. We're going through another time where the light is being greatly intensified over the planet. There is a true astrology based on universal or cosmic law, but that is not being taught in the outer world today. Present astrology is composed of some partial truths, clothed with many human concepts and distorted into a theory which has caused many drastic actions and misinformation to individuals. Since no negative or destructive force can leave the atmosphere of a planet or star, there is no bad influence from any star. That is a delusion in astrology which had caused so many failures, because the attention gets fixed on a negative or adverse aspect in the horoscope, and such a suggestion sets the law into action to produce it. Certain conjunctions may intensify destructive qualities here simply because of a greater amount of energy, which intensifies the qualities that are acting there, but destructive qualities do not come from outer space. Why do people yield to astrology, etc.? Because they think it brings food or shelter? The zodiac is an electronic force field around the sun. It is not just a ring or belt, but a sphere, like an orange with 12 sections. These sections are called the signs or houses of the zodiac. Each is composed of a different quality, some specific quality. Each house or section is under the direction of one of 12 cosmic beings. The cosmic being radiates that particular quality out it, and it is absorbed by the planets. As each moves through that house in the ecliptic in its journey around the sun for a certain period, which is for Earth approximately 30 days, these cosmic beings act as step-down transformers, each for a particular quality, so that mankind, the angels, the elementals, and all nature can absorb and utilize it. Numerology, likewise, is based on principles and law, but has been perverted. These, as well as trance and hypnotism, are connections with the psychic realm. Although many things prove out as stated does not make them universal truths, but facts set into action by human causes, just because a thing comes from the unseen does not necessarily make it of spiritual value. Just because a thing comes from the unseen does not necessarily make it of spiritual value. Most predictions fall in this class also. By entering into gambling, astrology, numerology, psychic readings, automatic writings, mediumship, etc., one tunes in or connects with accumulated energy and records. It isn't so much that the person has a wrong motive, because usually the desire is to help. But when one enters into such activities, you connect yourself with the accumulated inner forces, which are not all constructive. Be mindful. If the attention were fixed on the I Am presence, the higher source, the God active principle in each of us, to the same extent, we would draw forth external truths and perfection. The subconscious is the etheric memory, the records in the etheric body of all past embodiments. When one is taken back into a former embodiment through hypnosis, it may stir into action experiences and karma of that embodiment, causing the individual much distress and maybe more than he can handle. That would be a grave responsibility on the hypnotist. Hypnotism is a negative action, the use of the law in a negative phase. Hypnotism is domination by mental and feeling force of another's consciousness. In hypnotic and trance conditions, the individual's faculties are not under his consciousness control, nor a function of his free will. That is an intrusion on the prerogative of free will. This an ascended master will never do. Only by full use of the faculties under direction of free will is mastery ever attained. Only by full use of the faculties, of your faculties, under the direction of your free will is mastery ever attained. Psychic sight is only extended physical sight. It is produced or brought into action by a raising of the vibratory action of your optic nerve. The true spiritual or inner sight, the all-seeing eye, is not active in the average person because of the low vibrations of discord, chaos, confusion, gossip, envy, jealousy, beefs accumulated in the brain, which is of a slower vibratory rate. The stream of energy from one's individualized presence of God, which is the life that keeps the heart beating, enters the top of the head, goes through the pineal gland and pituitary body into the heart. Between the pineal gland and pituitary body, this stream of light is interrupted or broken by the slower vibrations. When that stream of light is no longer broken and there is a steady flow, then the results of the inner sight or all-seeing eye is in action. This can come about through sufficient purification, meditation, diet. Also, it is at times brought about temporarily through the assistance of an ascended master. In case of a blow on the head or an accident, when a person sees stars, as the term goes, what happens is the vibratory action of the optic nerves is raised, and he sees into this ray of light from your higher source, or your higher self. Projected consciousness is simply an expansion of consciousness, enabling one to express things at different places at the same time on higher frequencies. In projected consciousness, one can be at another place observing or doing things even while in the physical body he is going about tending to your daily affairs. Usually to the outer consciousness that is done unconsciously, but it is possible, and some do go in projected consciousness, wholly aware of all that takes place, and at the same time are completely conscious in the physical body. In the new term, they call it astral projection. Astral projection. Projected consciousness is an action of condensing etheric substance. Projected consciousness is an action of condensing etheric substance. It can be so condensed as to form a vehicle, a body, Merkaba, in which the outer consciousness can be conscious and manipulate in it. It can be made dense enough for a camera to get a picture, and even to a point where the physical sight can see. The two permanent rays. The two natural permanent rays penetrating the earth from almost exact opposite directions form, as it were, the axis of the earth. The one of masculine aspect, gold, enters in the Himalayas, and that of feminine aspect, pink, enters at Lake Titicaca in South America. Where they meet in the center of the earth, they fuse and emit light of a soft radiance. These are the rays science knows. People through the centuries have been magnetized and had the desire to go to the Orient, especially to India, because of the masculine ray being in predominant action there. That is one reason the ascension has been made mostly by men through the centuries. Another reason is that the masculine element represents the mental phase of life, there being less energy to control than in the feminine, which represents the emotion. The ray of feminine aspect is now coming into more powerful action, and in the future will be in predominance, giving assistance to those of us who are ready to make the ascension. Those lady masters who have ascended did have assistance from this ray. Like, share, subscribe, connect with me if you feel led to. I appreciate y'all for appreciating me in this nice peaceful moment. If you want to donate a seed, my cash app is $SAIWOODAGOD. That's $SAIWOODAGOD. Once again, stillness and blessings, love and light, health and wholeness. Enjoy. One.